I have pulled in the harness from the factory side marker light. I've loosened the harness up a little bit more to pull it in so you guys can see it clearly. We have our previously run fog light power wire and our power and ground wires for the grill light. Start by plugging in to that connector. This connector here is a dummy in most installations. If you are not installing our side arches, this can plug into the factory light so the factory light continues to work. I would also like to note that on the V8s, you need to remove the factory air box to access this area. Then we'll move on to installing the power wires. So we have both the Halo power wire and the grill power wire. We are installing that into our harness into the positive for the fog and grill light. Move on to installing the ground wire from the grill light. I have also run a separate wire for an ignition source. Start by crimping that in here. I've routed that wire along the factory harness here. There's a small opening in the firewall you can fish the wire through. I've run it up here. I have also attached it to a add fuse. This will go into fuse 7 in the lower fuse box there. It also shares a common source for our 4-pod roof light. I've also notched out the grommet here to run the harness through. Now we just need to take and clean everything up. You can tape some of these up if you like. Just need to wrap it up. I like to leave some extra wire so that you can work with it easily in the future. And then underneath the headlight area here, I secure it with a zip tie to the factory harness. And on the V8s, again, you need to make sure you secure that out of the way where the factory airbox will go. Now we have moved on to the installation of the light pod relay box for the roof lights. We have run the extra wiring harness out. I in turn have preliminarily clipped the harness, removed some of the sheathing to give me essentially two separate pieces of harness. The extra loose half of harness, I have installed the fuse. It has also shared a common power source here to our relay harness for our front grille lights. You can reference that in another video. But the main harness that we clipped off, I used that power source to go to the relay box, take the ground side of that same section, run it through a small opening in the firewall here, add a eyelet to be able to install to this 10mm that is part of the support bracket for the jumper post and the harness assembly. Go ahead and secure the ground. Take the wires, the one coming from the relay, attach to the relay box input side. Make sure the red is going to positive and black is going to negative. These symbols are very small, so pay extra attention. And we take our harness coming down from the A-pillar, which ran up to the roof lights. Install those in the output side. Again, paying attention to which one is positive and which one's negative. I also like to make sure that I don't have any extra strands hanging out that could cause an arc. Now that we have finished wiring up the relay box, we can work on the power source. We have added the fuse that it comes with the kit. We use a shared power that we separate, one for our relay box, the other power source goes to our ignition source for our harness for our front lights. You can reference that in another video. We run this down, it goes into fuse number 7 on this outer lower relay box. I have also notched the grommet here so that the harness can slide down in between when you install the cover. Need to wrap up our extra harness. We need to make sure that we tuck our relay box up behind here and secure it to the factory harness. Secure it to the factory harness behind the fuse box. It helps to protect that relay box from getting excess water on it. Once everything's secured, we can reinstall the fuse box cover and the cowl panel.
That's a good angle.
One thing you'll want to make sure and do is the button for the relay box. Press it, make sure the red light comes on. That tells you that it has good batteries in it. And then we'll move on to testing the light to make sure that it functions. Once you have everything assembled and tightened up, we need to assemble the button for the roof light 4 pods. We like to secure it right there. You can check to make sure that red light's coming on, that the battery is good. Once we have that done, go ahead and start the vehicle and test the roof lights. You can also see the angles and the aiming and adjust if you like.